Everyone wants happiness and success, and we know how to get you there. Come listen to the Leadership Society of Arizona as we teach a proven logic to help you simplify life, overcome challenges, and predict the future. You're listening to the Logic and Life Coaching Podcast.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Logic and Life Coaching Podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Dr. Jake.
Dr. Jacob.
Great to see you all again, you faithful few. We appreciate you being here. Okay, so we got another two-parter. A lot of what we do is as we coach students and as we work with them, one of the biggest concerns that parents have is my child prepared for the next step in life? Are they ready for success? Am I setting them up for as much success as possible? So in this two-part series, we're going to look at two big major milestones in a child's life that parents usually go through and talk to us about. So for this first episode, we're going to talk about the transition from middle school to high school and how to prepare students for that. And then in the next time that you see me, we'll talk about preparing for whatever comes after high school, college, trade school, what have you. So, Dr. Jacob, let's talk about preparing for high school. I specifically have some parents who come to me and they say, I don't know if my son or daughter has the math skills, has the social skills, whatever. And they feel like, I don't know if they're going to do very well in high school. So before we get into the nitty-gritty or the details, how do you respond to parents who have that concern?
Well, first off, the concern probably comes not from can they make it through high school, but probably the concern's coming, can they make it taking the courses and going through the advanced curriculum that the parent expects a child to go through?
Good point.
And so for every child, it will be different. Depending on if you're planning, for them to go through a private school like Xavier or Brophy, or if a top-notch school, or a charter school like Basis, or if you're planning for them just to go to a public school, or if you're planning for them to go through the IB program and honors programs, or if you're just planning them to go through regular lowest level classes that they can take, most people can make it through the basic courses, to be honest with you. Yeah. If you do want them to go through an advanced curriculum, really, if you want to know if your student can make it, I would just look at the curriculum of whatever it is that they go through the first year. And if you want to prepare your child for that, really, it's all memorization. All of it's memorization. All of it's in math. It becomes a little complex because you have to learn the procedures. But once you know the steps to solving it, whether you're going through algebra, calculus, whatever it might be, once you go through the steps, all it is memorizing the equations, memorizing the steps, your child knowing what to do first, memorizing it, and that's pretty much all it is. Once they can do that, they'll be prepared, right? And there's a lot of training and there's a lot of example curriculum and courses and problems that you can take them through to know if they're good at it.
That's a really good answer because it's simple. I don't know if anyone could argue that, but you giving me that answer kind of leads me thinking we almost need to pivot this question because it's such a clear and easy answer. But I think the more important question is, what kind of school do you as a parent really want your child to go to?
Yes.
So the real question, it's not, is my child prepared for high school? It's, how do I figure out where my child should go to high school? Do I need to put them in an advanced charter school, a private school? Are they good in public school? That seems like an even more important question than just preparation.
Okay. There's two things you need to look for. One is your child's capability to memorize, to remember, to focus, to study, to learn the technical details, your student's ability to do that. The second is your student's ability to socialize, to talk to people, and feel comfortable, among social environments. Because in reality, there's only really two major things a student will go through in high school: socializing, talking to people, and also learning technical curriculum. In most high school environments, that's all they're going to be going through.
Yeah.
And really, once you know that, you can really pinpoint what type of high school your student should go to very quickly. For example, if your child is really, really good academically, they're advanced in math, they're advanced in being able to, understand and memorize history concepts and ideas, and they're very good at writing, and they love it, and they love school, and they love to study, and they love to take tests, your child needs to go to an advanced school, an advanced technical school, one that's going to push them into AP classes, push them into, I know basis, you can start taking calculus in like ninth grade.
Yeah, AP classes start in 8th grade.
Yes, so they're going to need to go to a school like that if they're technically advanced. Now that's just looking at the technical.
Yeah.
If your child, as well with the technical, if your child is struggling through just basic, 8th grade courses, they don't like school at all, they don't like to do homework, they don't like to study. Even if you want to push that child, putting that child into a very fast-paced technical curriculum that has high expectations and a lot of studying involved, it's going to be a disaster, right? Yeah. So you got to first judge your child's technical capability level. Second thing, you have to judge your child's social capability level. If your child is not a person that gets along with everybody, if they have a quirk, right? Some children, they're super intelligent. They don't like to be around people who aren't intelligent. And they have a very difficult time with that. And sometimes they have behavioral issues with that. These are things that you need to know, because if that's the case, you can't be putting that child into like a school that has a technically advanced curriculum, but also allows non-technically advanced students in there. At the same time, if your child doesn't like big social environments, you can't be putting that child into a school with, 30, 40 people in a classroom. They're going to get lost. They're going to also have panic attacks, right? It's going to be very tough for them.
Yeah.
And so sometimes also children, there's certain schools that their friends are going into. So if they're not very socially advanced, but they have a really good friend that they could go through a school with, at least for the first year, that might be a good option, just so that they can be with their friend. But you have to take into account both of them as well, right? You got to take what's their technical capability and also what's their social. There is a third one that can be very relevant, actually, which is their extracurricular
what they're interested in.
preferences. There are certain schools that have very good football teams. There are some schools that have really good basketball coach. There's some schools that have very good, orchestras and bands. And the only reason this plays a big part sometimes is if your child has a gift. Like if your child is definitely going to be a major league baseball player or soccer player or something, you definitely needed to take that into account when they're going to high school.
Well, this is really interesting, because what you're saying here, and this is what we talk about in so many of our episodes and even on our website, is it's not really about the school per se. It's more about the kid, the child. And so it's not like, hey, you have to go to this type of school if you want to be successful. Everybody needs to go to a high end. Everybody needs to. It's really first look at where your child is at, and you have to be really honest with yourself. What are they going to enjoy? If they enjoy that high academic environment, they should go to that. But if they don't enjoy it and they're not talented at it, then you're only going to do them harm by sending them to one of those environments.
And it's true. And And it also depends on like what type of what's their skills,
Yeah.
right? Even if they are very technically advanced, but maybe they're a really good football player and they're going to be able to go full ride scholarship on a football, scholarship, full ride scholarship to a university on a football scholarship. Going to a school like Basis doesn't really make a lot of sense, right? Because even though they're technically advanced, they don't really have a football program.
Yeah.
And so you want that kid going to a school, maybe like, I don't know,
Saguaro.
Saguaro
is one of the best football programs in the country. Yeah.
Yes. I don't know about their academics though, but there are a lot of schools that have good football programs and they offer, AP classes, honors classes,
Yeah.
IB program, things like that, and have good teachers in them as well. So, really looking at who your child is, it really, that determines a lot.
So the preparation isn't in, okay, you have to do this summer class or go to this camp or do all these things. The preparation is, who is my child? What do they like? And where are they going to enjoy themselves?
Yes. And you want them to go to a place where they will excel.
Yeah.
And they will be a good student. And we always ask, people, what makes a good student? Is a good student one, you have to provide a lot of training and you got to provide a lot of prep work for? Or is a good student one that doesn't need a lot of training, doesn't need a lot of time to prep for it, but they go in and they do well? Right? You'd much rather have a student that can go in and do well without a lot of training and whatnot. Because the more training, the more prep work you have to do to get them ready, it tells you they're not really suited for that environment.
Yeah.
So you want to find a school that they naturally fit into. They don't have to really do a lot of prep work for, because that suits who they are. They can go right in. They'll be a great student. They'll excel in it very quickly.
Yeah. Good. Well, this is great insight. Very good. This is, I hope those of you who are listening, I hope that it's simple, but it's almost a little unexpected. It's not exactly what I thought would come out of this conversation, but thank you for your time, Dr. Jacob. We'll see you all next time.